Ever wondered how to leave a lasting impression on an older woman? Well, today we're diving into the heart of desire. I'll be sharing powerful tips on how you can make yourself unforgettable to her, ensuring she misses you when you're not around. Let's get started. 1. Give her space. Okay, let's get one thing straight. Smothering an older woman with constant attention is a surefire way to send her running for the hills. These ladies have been around the block a few times, and they can smell desperation from a mile away. Think about it. When was the last time you really appreciated something or someone until they were gone? Absence truly does make the heart grow fonder, and the same principle applies to your pursuit of an older woman. By giving her space and not overwhelming her with your presence, you're creating a sense of mystery and anticipation that will leave her mind wandering back to you. So, after a great date or a night of flirtatious banter, resist the urge to bombard her with texts or calls. Let her miss the sound of your voice, the way you make her laugh, or the way you make her feel when she's around you. Trust me, the more space you give her, the more she'll crave those moments when you do reconnect. And who knows? Maybe that little bit of distance will even amp up the sexual tension, leaving her yearning for your touch and your undivided attention. Just don't overdo it, my friends. You don't want her to forget about you entirely. 2. Offer support in subtle ways. One of the quickest ways to an older woman's heart is by offering support in subtle, thoughtful ways. These ladies have been through the ringer, and they appreciate a man who can step up and lend a helping hand without making a big fuss about it. Maybe she mentions that she's been swamped at work lately. Instead of just offering a generic hang in there, take the initiative to surprise her with a home-cooked meal or a freshly brewed cup of her favorite coffee. It's those little gestures that show you've been listening and that you care about her well-being. Or perhaps she's been dealing with a family issue or a personal struggle. Rather than bombarding her with unsolicited advice, simply let her know that you're there for her, no strings attached. Offer to lend an ear or a shoulder to lean on whenever she needs it. Trust me, she'll appreciate the fact that you're not trying to swoop in and play the hero. You're just being a supportive, understanding presence in her life. And here's the kicker. By offering your support in these small, meaningful ways, you're not only showing her that you're a caring, compassionate partner, but you're also planting the seeds of longing in her mind. When you're not around, she'll miss those little moments of kindness and consideration, and she'll find herself craving your company all the more. 3. Engage in deep conversations. There's nothing quite as attractive to an older woman as a man who can engage her on a deeper, more intellectual level. These ladies have seen it all and done it all, and they crave stimulating conversation that goes beyond the surface-level small talk. So, when you find yourself in her company, don't be afraid to dive into deeper waters. Ask her about her passions, her philosophies on life, or her thoughts on current events. Share your own insights and experiences and let the conversation flow naturally. But here's the key. Don't just talk at her. Really listen to what she has to say. Ask follow-up questions and engage with her ideas and perspectives. Show her that you're genuinely interested in understanding her on a deeper level. And when you do part ways, leave her with something to ponder, a thought-provoking quote, a challenging question, or a new perspective that she hadn't considered before. Trust me, she'll find herself replaying those stimulating exchanges in her mind, and she'll be counting down the days until she can dive back into another intellectually charged conversation with you. Just remember, fellas, the mind is the ultimate erogenous zone for an older woman. Keep her engaged and intrigued, and she'll be craving your company like a moth to a flame. 4. Send thoughtful messages. Look, we all know the power of a well-timed text message, but when it comes to making an older woman miss you, you've got to up your game and send messages that are genuinely thoughtful and meaningful. We're not talking about those generic "hey, what's up" texts or the dreaded "you up" late-night booty calls. No, my friends, these messages need to show that you've been paying attention and that you're thinking about her beyond just a physical level. Maybe you come across an article or a book that you know she'd find interesting, and you shoot her a quick message sharing it with her. Or perhaps you spot a restaurant or event that aligns with her interests, and you let her know that you thought of her when you saw it. The key is to make these messages feel personal and tailored specifically to her, like you're sharing a little inside joke or a moment of connection that only the two of you can fully appreciate. And here's the kicker. These thoughtful messages will leave her mind wandering back to you, wondering what other surprises or insights you might have in store for her. She'll find herself eagerly anticipating your next message, and before you know it, she'll be counting down the moments until she can bask in your company once again. 5. Show your thoughtfulness. If you really want to leave her missing your company, you've got to show her that you're a man who pays attention to the little details and truly values her as an individual. So, how do you do that? Well, for starters, remember those seemingly insignificant things she mentions in passing. Her favorite flower, the type of wine she prefers, or that obscure movie from the 80s that she loves. Then surprise her by incorporating those little details into your interactions with her. Maybe you show up with a bouquet of her favorite blooms or a bottle of that hard-to-find vintage she raved about. Or perhaps you suggest watching that cult classic flick she adores, complete with her favorite snacks and a cozy blanket to cuddle up under. It's those little moments that show her you've been listening and that you're willing to go the extra mile to make her feel truly special and appreciated. And trust me, fellas, an older woman will absolutely swoon over a man who takes the time to remember the little things that matter to her. So, pay attention, take notes, mentally or literally, no judgment here, and be willing to put in the effort to make her feel like the most important woman in the world. Before you know it, she'll be missing those thoughtful gestures and craving your company like nobody's business. 6. Be unpredictable. One of the biggest turnoffs for an older woman is a man who's predictable and boring. These ladies crave a little mystery and excitement in their lives. So if you really want to keep her hooked and leave her missing your company, you've got to keep her guessing and inject a little unpredictability into the mix. Maybe you whisk her away for a spontaneous weekend, getaway to a charming bed and breakfast or a cozy cabin in the woods. Or perhaps you surprise her with tickets to a concert or a show that she's been dying to see, but you've kept it a total secret until the last minute. The key is to keep her on her toes and always wondering what you've got up your sleeve next. Will it be a romantic candlelit dinner at a hidden gem of a restaurant? A daring adventure like skydiving or rock climbing? Or maybe just a quiet evening spent stargazing and sharing your deepest hopes and dreams? By keeping her guessing and injecting a sense of excitement and novelty into your interactions, you're not only ensuring that she'll never get bored or complacent, you're also creating a sense of longing and anticipation that will leave her craving your company and wondering what thrilling surprise you might have in store for her next. The key is to strike the right balance. You don't want to be so unpredictable that she feels like she can't trust you or that you're just stringing her along. Keep it exciting, but also make sure she knows that you're all in and committed to whatever this connection between you two might blossom into. 7. Use your scent. One of the most powerful tools in your arsenal for making an older woman miss you is something you might not have even considered: your scent. That's right, the way you smell can be a potent trigger for her memory and desire, so you've got to use it to your advantage. Think about it. When you catch a whiff of a familiar cologne or aftershave, doesn't it instantly transport you back to a specific person or moment in time? The same principle applies to the way an older woman perceives your unique scent. So invest in a quality cologne or fragrance that suits your personal style and make sure to apply it liberally before any encounter with her. Maybe it's a warm, spicy scent that ignites a sense of passion and desire. Or perhaps it's a fresh, clean aroma that evokes feelings of comfort and familiarity. Either way, the goal is to leave a lingering trace of your scent on her clothes, her hair, or even her skin, a subtle reminder of your presence that will continue to tantalize her senses long after you've parted ways. And trust me, the next time she catches a whiff of that intoxicating aroma, her mind will instantly drift back to you, and she'll find herself longing for the real thing, your strong embrace and the warmth of your body next to hers. 8. Leave something behind. All right, it's time to get a little sentimental here. One of the most effective ways to leave an older woman missing your company is to leave behind a small personal item, a tangible reminder of your presence that she can hold on to and treasure. Now, we're not talking about anything too over the top or extravagant. In fact, the more subtle and unassuming the item, the better. Maybe it's a simple bracelet or necklace that you've worn for years, imbued with your personal scent and energy. Or perhaps it's a well-loved book that holds special meaning for you, with your favorite passages dog-eared and annotated. The key is to choose something that feels like an extension of yourself, an object that carries with it a piece of your essence and your connection to her. Then, at the end of a particularly meaningful date or encounter, casually leave it behind, maybe on her nightstand or slipped into her purse or jacket pocket. Don't make a big deal out of it or call attention to the gesture. Just let it be a subtle surprise for her to discover later. And when she does find it, trust me, fellas, her heart will instantly swell with a sense of affection and longing. She'll clutch that item close, inhaling your lingering scent or tracing her fingers over the well-worn pages, and she'll find herself transported back to that special moment you shared together. Before you know it, she'll be counting down the days until she can bask in your presence once again, this time with a little piece of you by her side to keep her company until then. So now that you know how to leave her thinking of you, what's next? Discover the phrases older women use when they're interested in you, or learn her biggest triggers of sexual attraction. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.